and I know it's all editing, but
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Laura is trying to bait Tzarina into
Mm-hmm.
something to the point where she will blow up or do something that isn't her normal.
Yeah.
And again, it just something doesn't feel right.
Hi, welcome to Above Deck, a below deck breakdown podcast. I'm Sarah Goldman, a photographer living in Charleston, South Carolina. Joining me as always is my college roommate and co-host, Kelly.
I'm Kelli Busby, an executive assistant and former radio host, coming to you from my home studio in Columbus, Ohio. Together, Sarah and I hosted the Socks with Sandals radio show on WFAL in Bowling Green, Ohio, and we are back again this week to discuss Below Deck and our love of all things Bravo. Today, we'll be discussing Below Deck Down Under, Season 3, Episode 12, Across Frenemy Lines.
Here's your recap. Nick confesses to Captain Dreamboat and ends up with the disco helmet. Trouble brews between the interior and the galley, and the girls start taking sides. Marina gets to do some service, and the crew enjoys the first night out with the new crew members. Kelly, how many shackles are you going to put in the water?
I only gave it 7.
Yeah, I thought it was a
I
little bit of a
just,
snooze, right?
yeah. I mean, well, compared to the last 2 episodes, this one
Yeah.
was just like meh. But it was good, but there was just, it seemed like a lot of human resources concerns.
Right, right. And I also felt like they kind of rushed through the charter, the
Yeah.
last day of the charter. I think
Yeah.
the guests were too nice. They like
Oh,
didn't
they were so
they didn't
sweet.
cause drama, so
And I didn't put, wrote this down in my notes, but I didn't put it in here. While they were eating breakfast one day, the
Mhm.
primary won an award for
Oh
like
yeah,
woman business person of the year. And she's just like, oh, it's great.
that's
As she's,
wonderful.
you know,
Let me
eating
add
her
that to my
fantastical.
CV.
Yes.
Let me just
Which
update the old
congratulations. That's
resume.
awesome.
So when this episode begins, it's the second day of the charter. Those sliding doors seem to be giving everybody trouble, not just Nick.
Right. What is going on with them?
I
I
don't
thought
know.
I'm like,
Things are
it's
too
probably like
automated.
the humidity, right? It's probably the humidity in the gears or the
Yeah, all that
mechanics. I
rain,
just
the
hope it's
salt
not
water.
broken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, automatic doors and elevators on a boat, I mean, it makes sense that those would break. So,
Yes. The gear. Yeah. No. Hmm.
Alicia is late to work, and Tzarina notices that she's just not quite tuned in. She even suggests, like, why don't you have a coffee? Why don't you do that?
I cannot believe she said that.
Yeah.
She's she asked her if she had any, and she said, "You better go get some." Wow. That was like Zarina. Come on. That was a little harsh, but I
Yeah.
get that she was a bit late. But
Hmm.
and I go by the mantra, and I'm gonna guess that Zarina does too. To be early is to be on time, to be on time is to be late, and to be late is to be left behind.
Yeah.
But in in all fairness to Alicia, it's been one day. I think like 24 hours since Johnny has been
Yeah.
gone, let go, and everything has happened. So she's still kind of processing, I think.
Yeah. It seems that way. This is not her number one thing is like cooking right now.
No.
So Captain Dreamboat once again tells Laura that Marina should do service, and he thinks the beach picnic would be a good time to try this out. Now, call me crazy, but I think it would have been better if Laura had let her do service on the boat with her, like a couple charters ago, before setting her free on a beach picnic, because we know how terrible those can be.
That's a very, very valid point. And I'm wondering though, if Laura thought to send her to the beach for the picnic and then she will have had her service, got that out of her system, and
Hmm.
then would be turned off by service because being on a beach picnic is such a pain in the butt. I mean,
Maybe, or maybe I don't know. It's interesting because it's like they knew that this would be a good time for her to, because it's just like a buffet service. But also at the same
right.
time, Laura was telling Tzarina, like, oh, you've got to be there, because you're head of department. So those two things don't
I
quite
did,
line up. So
no.
a water
I
taxi
was,
takes the guest to the rum tasting.
Takamaka rum.
Okay.
Takamaka. I was saying that I was Takamaka, Takamaka. So I'm gonna check and see if they sell it here in the States.
Okay, sure, why not? Tzarina and Laura are disagreeing about who should go to the beach picnic. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't Laura planning to go with Bree
I think so.
originally? And then
I think
somehow
yeah,
when this got changed around and Marina's going, now she's not going?
I don't know. All I know is Tzarina and Lara are starting to poke at each other.
Mm-hmm.
First it
Yeah.
was the plates,
Yeah.
and then telling Sheffy that she needs to go with Alicia to make sure everything's set up properly and that they need to have a head of department there. Everything just seems off. Like something
Mm-hmm.
is going on.
Yeah. Agreed. I mean, they both know how to get under each other's skin, especially Laura
Mm.
knows how to get under Zarina's skin.
Yeah.
Um, Zarina's gonna go and she's gonna take Alicia. She doesn't want to argue with Laura.
It kind of made me sad that Laura or that Tzarina felt that way.
Yeah, for sure. Nick is trying to get up his nerve to talk to Captain Jason about the taking the shot the night before. We find out that his dad was a professional windsurfer and now he's a captain in the Med, so keeping it in the family.
So Nick reminds me of the lead actor from Rich Asians. I put
Oh
a photo of him
yeah,
in our script here.
I
We'll
see
have to share
that.
that.
I thought it
But
was
right,
him when
that
you,
was him. Who
yeah,
knew?
yeah, he does look like him.
Yeah.
Um, so at the beach picnic, Marina's setup really does look lovely. She did a nice job.
Yeah, she had a very nice job with the table and really throughout everything, she thought it through where everything
Mm-hmm.
was good needed to go. She was also I like the way she went up and was talking to everybody, like to
Mm-hmm.
Adair and to Chef, and she was just very calm and collected and
Mm-hmm.
almost talking to them like in a whisper, but it wasn't. It was just a very just
Yeah, well, I think the guests were like right by
right
them.
there.
I think that
Yeah.
was the reason for the
I just
whispering. But
thought she had a plan for everything though. Like I thought it was really she did a very nice
yeah,
job.
she was
So I
organized
hope
and it looked very nice. I think it probably
absolutely.
helped that they didn't have to haul like chairs and all that kind of stuff.
That's
They
a
kind
good
of had
point.
a picnic set up. So it
Yeah.
went very smoothly.
Yeah.
So the guests are doing the rum tasting while Marina, Darren, and Zarina are putting out the food. And Zarina is literally there for 5 minutes and then gets back in the van to go back because it was an hour trip to get there.
That's not good.
It's crazy. She, says it's a huge waste of her time, and I think I
Yeah.
maybe have to agree. Um,
Yeah.
Nick goes to talk to Jason. Thankfully, Jason just lets him off with a warning.
Yeah. Well, they cut that right at the commercial break, saying, well, that's a
Yeah.
problem. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh no,
Oh no. Yeah.
it's too soon.
Hmm.
Um, and then Nick proceeds to go and tell everyone what he did
Yeah.
and that he told the captain. And he already knows how to stop rumors on this boat before they begin. He's like, I'm just
Yeah.
going to get in front of it. I'm just going to tell them all.
I wonder if he asked for like his dad for any advice or anything. I
Oh,
mean, they didn't show that, but I'm just
yeah.
curious. So,
That's a good point.
but this was smart, I thought.
Yeah.
The guests are back. Laura was impressed with Marina's ability to just handle the beach picnic.
Yay, Marina. Let's go.
Zarina is not happy about her time being wasted, like going in the van, to be there for
Yeah.
5 minutes to take saran wrap off of dishes. And
Right.
she's even giving Alicia the silent treatment, which really doesn't make sense. And
Yeah.
it does seem like Laura is trying to control Zarina's department a little bit.
This is not good, Sarah. And I almost feel like, and I know it's all editing, but
Hmm.
I feel like Laura is trying to bait Zarina into
Hmm.
something to the point where she will blow up or do something that isn't her normal.
Yeah.
And again, it just something doesn't feel right.
Yeah, there was definitely an icky vibe in this episode.
Yeah.
So tonight's dinner theme is lavish Dubai nights.
Awesome.
Um, I was glad that Alicia said something to Zarina about her mood. She's like, I can't go through a whole service like this. And Zarina does admit that she's grumpy, which I think is the best thing when somebody's in a bad mood. Just say,
Yeah.
hey, I'm in a terrible mood. Just,
Yeah.
give me some space.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because then right? And
Yeah.
Alicia handled that very well because there's nothing more
Hmm.
like gut wrenching than having to approach a superior person Not
Yeah,
like it
someone
just
you
like
just
you're
started working for too.
yeah, and but she was upfront, she was calm and factual. It just this whole thing, like it's just it hurts that all of this is happening.
Yeah, I think it's later when Laura says she can tell that Alicia has lost her spark, and that made me sad.
Yes.
Alicia wants to know the plan for breakfast, and she tells Tzarina she feels like she's walking on eggshells around her still.
I
And
mean, this is horrible. I hate
yeah,
it.
yes. Okay, so they head back to the dock. They guest apart. They had a great time. Lovely, no drama.
Except they do tell Nick that he needs to work on his beer pong game.
Oh my gosh,
I
I was
love
a
the
little
fact that
nervous when they brought that up. Like they're
no,
gonna throw
I
Nick
know
under
they're
the
like
bus.
one thing to work on, and I was like, what could they have done differently? My goodness,
I
but
know it went
yeah,
so well.
they
Okay,
were
the
fun.
tip meeting, 15K, which is just kind of the
Yeah,
bare minimum tip. Jason doesn't
yeah,
think it quite, is reflective of the work that they did. He
right,
does give the helmet to Nick. This is an obvious choice. I
yeah.
liked Nate's description of Nick. He says he's a bit of a dork, but he speaks like a prince.
That is the best description of him yet. I love it.
Yeah. Nate promotes Harry to lead deckhand, I think, right? Was it a promotion or does he say like you might as well be lead deckhand?
Yeah, I know. I was kind of like, well, he didn't really come out and say it.
Yeah,
But then again, Harry's like, oh, I got it. This is great. So
yeah,
I'm going to go with that he was given
he
the
got
role.
it. Okay.
It's very exciting. I think it's very well deserved. I like how Nate says that he appreciates learning from Harry because he's familiar with the boat and the captain, which are both
Mm-hmm.
very obviously very two huge things, but he didn't see it as a bruise on his ego,
Mm-hmm.
which we all know that other bosun who was just let go, um, wouldn't really say it that way. So,
Right.
um, I it was refreshing. And this guy has experience. So
Yeah, I like him so far.
yeah, good guy.
Laura, Alicia, and Bree are talking about Tzarina in a cabin, and Tzarina walks in. This is not good. We
No.
know that Tzarina already has a tendency to feel like an outsider in a group, and now it's going to feel like Laura and Alicia are like together and against her.
Yeah, my heart sank when she walked in.
Hmm.
They could have easily just said, "Hey, come on in. We're just chatting."
Yeah,
Like, and
come on
then,
in.
but they made it awkward. And then
Hmm.
she knew that they were talking about her in that moment, where they
Oh
could have
yeah.
easily just said, "Oh, we're just sitting in here because it's cooler," or
Or yeah, come
something,
on in. Alicia and Nate are in the hot tub and he says he's Mr. Salmon and she said, I'm Mrs. Bean. So I thought that was cute. He was a ski instructor and he broke his leg, which is what got him like out of that world and into yachting.
I like it.
And Nate tells Nick he's into Alicia, but then we see Alicia still texting Johnny.
Do you think Nate knows about Johnny? Like what they had going on?
I mean, maybe not. I mean, it's only
Yeah,
been like a day or two, so it's very likely that they
that's a
don't,
good point.
he doesn't have any
Um,
information.
So when Nate was talking about how he made that change from the skiing world to the
Hmm.
yachting world, he says, you are your own master of your own ish. And he does this of your own ish. And
Oh,
all I could think of, unagi.
what is this? I don't get the reference.
Unagi
No.
from Friends, Ross?
No.
Oh, okay. So in Friends, so for a moment. So there's a scene where Ross is saying that he learned from like some sort of martial arts instructor that you could do things with your mind, and it was called unagi, and he always went
Okay.
like this when he talked about
Okay.
it. And then so he was being like that was the whole theme of this episode, right? Like
Hmm.
he was just like so hell-bent on this unagi thing. And then and it was all about knowing your surroundings and stuff too. So then
Hmm.
Phoebe and Rachel were so sick of it. So they went and they hid in his apartment behind the curtains. And he shut the door and they'd come out and they scream, God, he freaks out. And they were like, Unagi. I'll find the clip and I'll send it
I
to you,
do
but
not
it's
remember
so
that at all. I
funny.
wonder if that was an episode I missed. That's funny.
Anyway,
I like the exchange between Harry and Captain Dreamboat when they're getting ready to go out. Harry
Yeah.
comes out of his room and he shows him his outfit and he says, "Look at my outfit. It's good, isn't it?" And Captain Dreamboat says, "Harry, you really are stepping it up." And Harry says, "Thanks. Thought so."
Harry rocking the linen again. I love it. He's like, he's got a girl now. Like
Yeah, he's
our
looking
Harry
good.
is growing up.
Our little boy, our baby giraffe.
That's right.
Okay, the night out. Alicia and Tzarina go have a smoke and a chat from the dinner table, and Tzarina does really make an effort to connect with her and
Yeah.
sympathize that she's missing Johnny. And they do talk out some issues.
Yeah.
Tzarina realizes that her feelings toward Laura have really, she realized she's taken out what she's feeling about Laura on her sous chef.
Yeah.
So it seems like they get on the same page.
I hope they remember this conversation that they have when they're sober in the morning. Because
Same.
I really think Alicia and Zarina make a good team, but I'm just hoping this helps and it sticks. I don't
Yeah.
know.
The deckhands are all in the loo together, and Harry gets right down to the business of love. He
Absolutely.
finds out that Nick fancies Marina and Nate fancies Alicia.
Just three lads in the lab having a chat.
So cute. To the club. Nick asks Marina to teach him a dance, and then all of a sudden they're making out. Very cute together.
Oh my gosh, so cute. And everyone is cheering. And Harry's reaction is the best. Like he's screaming. It's almost like the new girl one where they meet Prince and they're like, and she's like, "Oh my God, oh my God." And the guy goes, just screams.
Yes, yeah.
Um, but I was thinking, here's some memes that could come out of this, okay?
Okay, okay.
Your face when you find out they're going to open a new TJ Maxx in your area,
Hmm,
or your face when the puppy comes straight to you at a party,
hmm.
or premium liquor half price during happy hour, or, and this one's my favorite, meeting Kelli and Sarah from the Above Deck podcast.
That's perfect. Okay, we'll definitely
Okay.
have to make that happen. So Laura and Zarina have a talk, liquid courage, I guess, and it's not really going well. It ends up with
No,
Zarina walking away from the conversation.
this is not going to be good, Sarah. I do not have a good feeling about any of
I know.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, All right, well, let's take a break and we'll come back with Hot Tub Combo.
We are supported by BetterHelp. Support systems are so important. I know I have a group of people that I regularly rely on. Kelli, you're definitely one of those people for me. In a society where we are expected to be really independent, it's easy to forget that we're all better when we have that support system. Therapy can be a source of support for many areas of your life.
The best part of BetterHelp is it's fully online, which makes the therapy affordable and convenient, serving over 5 million people worldwide. Access a diverse network of over 30,000 therapists in a range of specialties, and you can easily switch therapists at any time for no additional cost.
Build your support system with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/abovedeck to get 10% off your first month. That's better, HELP.com/abovedeck.
It's time for Hot Tub Combo, where we discuss what's happening with our favorite below deck cast members.
Marina and Adair posted some videos together in New York City last week.
Ooh.
And you also, or you and I were talking about how Andy was asking for questions for
Mhm.
Marina
Mm.
and Bree a couple days ago. So interesting that Adair,
Mm.
met up with at least Marina in New
Mhm.
York. I imagine that Marina and Bree are going to be on Watch What Happens Live on Monday. I don't know, maybe they're taping on a different day. Um,
That's exciting.
Also, this will be yesterday because we are coming to you from the future. We asked a
Okay.
few questions, so hopefully they'll choose one of ours. We'll see.
That's exciting.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was one of the things I did this morning when I couldn't sleep, is I was checking through my things. I was like, oh, here's some question.
here's
I
some
kind of,
questions. Yeah,
yeah.
that's good.
On May 12th, Chef Tzarina and Chef Anthony are hosting an event in Fort Lauderdale at Livia Bar and Grill. There will be a meet and greet, and they are preparing food. So not only now, this is not Anthony the sous chef. This is Anthony. That's a very good point to pull up because
Yeah,
Um,
that would be
I'm
crazy.
not sure. Are we? Yeah. So this is Anthony from Below Deck OG season 11, the one who was
Hmm.
fired. Anthony was he was French, yes.
Yeah. He was
So,
the one that had
um,
like the really messy galley, right?
yes,
Or he wasn't very organized. I think he was a good chef, but he just couldn't
yes,
quite get his act together.
yes, and then yeah, um, and Chef Nick took over for him.
Who it
So
turns
I
out
would.
has
He
his own
took
issues.
over for him on the show, not at this event. So Chef
Yeah.
Tzarina and Chef Anthony, May 12th down in Fort Lauderdale. And I really wish we could go because I had a lot of fun the last time we were in Fort Lauderdale.
Yes.
Um, I
That'd be fun. It
really
seems
wish.
like this Livia Bar and Grill hosts occasionally like below deck things. I think there was something
Oh,
with Barbie and maybe Chef Anthony
oh,
sometime in the last
fun.
year. So that's
Okay.
fun.
It's time for our segment, Join Me in the Wheelhouse, where we decide who needs to see Captain Dreamboat for a stern talking to. Sarah, who do you call to the wheelhouse and why?
Okay, so I was back and forth the whole episode on whether I would call Lara or Tzarina. I'm gonna
Yeah,
go with Laura because Tzarina did realize what she was doing to Alicia by the end of the episode and in her green
yeah,
screens. Um, Laura is just feeling a little too controlling in the galley and then talking to Alicia and all the stews about Tzarina. It's kind of creating a not great environment,
yeah.
and people are starting to take sides, which is not good.
No. And if I could add to that, is it wrong for me to say that I feel like now that Vienna is gone and she can't try to control the deck, she's trying to control the galley?
Ooh,
I
interesting.
mean, because her
Yeah.
focus is like everything is turned now to Tzarina.
Yeah, that's interesting because when Vion was there, Tzarina was like a confidant
Right.
about Vion.
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't like that. But yeah, I
I
think,
don't either. And
yeah,
I mean, because they're both fantastic women and they're
yeah,
both very, very, very good at what they do.
yeah.
And I can't imagine being in that situation. Like that would be very hard.
Hmm.
Um, I just,
Yeah,
man,
it makes me sad that they're like not friendly now. So
yeah,
yeah, but watching the demise of this working relationship and friendship is sad. So
it's no
anyway.
bueno.
All right, Laura, get up to the wheelhouse. That's it for this week's episode of Above Deck. Thank you to our team at Hurrdat Media, especially our producer Joss. Thanks to all of you for listening to us every week. Please subscribe on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Don't forget to tell a friend and please rate and review us 5 stars only.
Please follow us on Instagram at abovedeckpod, and you can email us at abovedeckpod@gmail.com. And you can watch our episodes on the Hurrdat Entertainment YouTube channel. Until next week, I'm Kelli Busby.
Sorry. I was like, wait a second. It's not going to make sense if I just say, I'm Sarah Goldman. I'm Sarah Goldman. Remember, there are only 209 days until BravoCon 2025. We'll see you next time.
Too funny.
Sometimes there's a little copy and paste error.
You know.